Today we're talking to St Albans City manager Ian Allinson after the Saints have extended their winning start to the season to a sixth successive National League South match when coming from behind to beat Concord Rangers 2-1. Another excellent result, Ian. Are you as pleased with the performance as you are with the result?
I think it's difficult really because I felt we didn't really start today until we went 1-0 down, and then we showed some great character. But I felt for the first 50 minutes we were second best all over the park, even though we probably had the best opportunity with Charlie Walker's one where he hit the keeper's feet with. I felt they were probably better than us for the first 15 minutes. We went 1-0 down, but lads showed great character to come back from that and to obviously get 2-1 up, and then it became a little bit of to-in and throw-in, and they put a lot of balls into the box, caused us one or two problems, but we sort of had four opportunities in the last sort of 15 minutes to put the game to bed, which we didn't do. And if you don't do that, you're always going to be susceptible to a counter-attack or a ball bobbling around the box, and Dean's had to make a very smart save in the last couple of minutes to keep it at 2-1.
Concord had lost their two previous away games this season, but they were, as you say, they were playing well here, and when they went a goal up, maybe it stirred us into action, but it did look like it's going to be difficult to keep the run going then.
Very difficult, and as I say, you have to give them credit. Matt brought in obviously Matt Payne from Billericay, which is a great signing for them, which has obviously give them a little bit of a lift defensively. They look quite sound, and as you say, we went in 1-0 down. Went in 5 minutes into the second half, 1-0 down, and then you see a reaction, you see what your players are made of, and to be fair to the players today, at 1-0 down, we could have quite easily thrown the towel in and got beat 3 or 4, but today they show great character, they get going. We had a bit of fortune with David's goal that's gone under the keeper's body, but I thought the second goal from the corner was a well-worked move, which has been great from our point of view. And then we had sort of 3 or 4 really good chances. Charlie Walker's had a one-on-one, lobbed it into the keeper's hands, and then Sean Lucian's had one hit the crossbar, he's had one just gone wide, and Mercer's hit the post. And so really the last 15-20 minutes we could have put the game to bed quite quickly. But for me, as I said to you, 50 minutes we were second best, but good character to come from 1-0 down and win the game.
You mentioned there are 3 really good chances we should have maybe made more of. Charlie Walker 2 of them, and Sam Merson 1. Also early on I thought when we got the ball wide to Reece Moran Williams, and the second half Sean Lucian, they both looked really dangerous, causing problems. Maybe we didn't make most of those positions as well.
Yeah, I think we did. I think it was very difficult to run with the ball today though. I think the grass is still, and I'll say it again, it's still probably a little bit too long, and it's very dry out there, and a lot of players have just expressed there that it's very difficult to run with it because the ball gets stuck under your feet. So we have to, it's the same for both sides, as we said, we haven't got a sprinkler system here where we can get the pitch nice and wet, so we have to sit with it now until the worst weather comes in terms of some rain or whatever, in terms of some during the evening games where we can start moving the ball around. But it's a little bit sticky today in terms of running with the ball, passing the ball, and I think both sides see that. But it was quite an entertaining game really in the end, especially the last sort of 25-30 minutes. 3 of these league wins we've had to come from behind to do it, and of course before that we had the Arch Cherry Cup at Hitchin where we come back from 2 down to draw. It's a good sign. Yeah, it is, and I said that to the players there. At the end of the day, we can all sit there and look at ourselves in the mirror. But great character from them to do that. And as you say, Oxford have come back from behind and done it. Wealdstone they've done it. And even then today, today I felt was the flattest we'd been in any of them games. I felt that we was going to struggle to get back into it today. We needed a spark. Obviously, put Sean on, and I felt he'd give us that spark. He started to untangle 1 or 2 of their defensive players. He started to create some chances for us, and then once you get that, a little bit of confidence comes flying back, and I think that showed in the last sort of 20-25 minutes with the opportunities we carved out for ourselves. We just didn't take them, and they're little things that we need to keep working on, and that's pretty critical, is that we should have put the game to bed quite early.
One change from the winner Paul, Lane Eady dropped down to the bench.
Yeah, he's been very unlucky, Lane, because he's done a great job for us. But I just went with Tom's height. The reports we'd had from the Wealdstone game that they have got a long throw, and with Cox and people like that in and around our box, it was always going to be difficult. Bringing Matt Payne in was an additional good header of the ball, so I wanted to make sure defensively we had a big enough side to cope with their set pieces, and that proved to be correct in the end. I mean, obviously, Corley scored from a cross, but we didn't start the second half. We looked very, very flat and very, very tired, to be fair, at times today. So it was good character to come back, and it was great from the players to get the result in the end.
And in 48 hours time we head off for another match away to Braintree Town. That's going to be a very difficult one, and I remember when we played down at Chelmsford less than 48 hours after a previous match then. It's difficult for some of the players to keep it going at that sort of regularity.
Yeah, it is, and you've got to take into consideration the bank holiday weekend. You've got to take into consideration players, we've asked them all, they've done a good warm down after the game. We've asked them to look after their body for the next sort of 36, 48 hours before we obviously go off there, because it's going to be tough, and if we don't prepare properly, and it'll be a tough game now, and we'll end up the run finishing, so we have to prepare properly. It's going to be a tough game, but hopefully with the squad that we've nurtured here today, we brought young Kingsley in from QPR, and he'll give us a bit more in terms of pace going in behind teams. So I'm happy with the squad, as I've said before. We've just got a couple of little niggles today. Hopefully they'll be alright, only knocks, so if we can nurture them over the next sort of 3 or 4 or 2 days really, hopefully they'll be fit for Monday at Braintree.
You've talked for quite a few weeks of bringing in a new striker in. Of course, a new guy from 18-year-old from Queen's Park Rangers there. He's on loan. Are you looking for a permanent signing still? Not
at the moment. As I say, it's difficult because of the shape we play. If somebody comes available, then we'll make a move for it. I mean, we made a move for a lad this week. We didn't get him, but that was part and parcel of football at the end of the day. So Kingsley will come in for a month, and then we'll have a look at him for a month. But it could be one of them that we speak to Chris Ramsey at Queen's Park Rangers, where he'll let us have him for the rest of the season. So that's the bridge we can cross when we get to in sort of 4 weeks' time. But at the moment, we're happy with what we've got. He's different to what we've got in terms of pace going in behind, and he's strong. He's a bit like Junior Murray's, but probably about 3 or 4 inches taller than Junior. So it'll be a good addition to the squad and what we need, obviously, going forward.
When we were chatting before the interview, Jake asked an unusually sensible question. How does this start to the season compare with your previous records?
And I'd give Jake probably an answer that I couldn't answer, because I haven't got a clue, to be fair, David. I mean, I think it's probably the best I've had as a manager in 27 years, so it's very difficult to win 6 games on the trot and say that somebody's beaten that. So I'd have to say yes, it probably is, but as I've said before, this football game is a game that never makes you sleep easy, and it's one of them where we've had six results, and you've watched all 6 games, and we could quite easily come away with sort of 2 or 3 draws or even a defeat in that. So we have to accept it as it is. I mean, I'm over the moon. 18 points before the end of August is fantastic achievement, and I'll say it again, the players have been absolutely magnificent. Today we could have thrown the towel in, but we showed a character there, and you see from Harold Joseph a tackle late on and an interception late on. He put his life on the line for the team today, and we're going to need that going forward. As I say, we're happy with the squad. We've got a 17-18 man squad. I'm happy with that. I don't want any more, but we're going to need a bit of luck on the way, and we're going to need some characters like today to come back from being 1-0 down with 40 minutes to go and win the game.
Braintree Town, much changed team from the side that was relegated from the Conference National last season. Done an excellent job on rebuilding already. What's your record against them in past?
I can only probably say as a manager, I think I went there a few years ago and we lost. I think we lost 3-1 at Bournemouth. That was, so it's not a great record. But I watched them at East Thurrock and they were very, very good, very, very good. One of the best sides I've seen this year. They lost 5-3, and how they lost 5-3, I haven't got a clue. But they were very, very bright. They're good on the ball. They've got some cracking players who move the ball very quickly. So it's going to be a very, very tough game. And if we're not on our toes like today, if we start sloppy like today, then it's going to be a tough day on Monday at Braintree.
Any knocks picked up today?
As I said earlier, we've got a couple of little, but they're only just like little kicks, so they'll settle down over the next 24 hours and they'll be fine by Monday.
Lovely, thanks Ian, and another congratulations
David.
Another excellent result. So we're saying it's next back in action on Monday, Bank Holiday Monday, 31st of August, when we make a short trip to Braintree Town, National League South. Kick-off is at 3 p.m.